now then, and welcome back to another Infinity Evolved Expert Mode questing mod pack stuff things on the Patreon server. How are you doing today? I've been trying to do a little bit of work in the factory today, been trying my hardest to get things to work, and I've encountered a few problems with the whole setup really. There's a few things that I need to show you today before we head over there, and so I can show you some more stuff. Item ducts. Opaque because I didn't want to see the items moving. But templates and all that. Instead of lead you can put glass in. Instead then it doesn't make it opaque, it makes it see-through, I believe. Yeah, glass is the recipe for see-through. Now it's okay having see-through ones, but the opaque ones just give you a little bit more time FPS wise to worry about things. So we've got infinite obsidian. I've been putting that through the pulverizer, getting the pulverized obsidian, using that in the induction smelter with some lead to make the hardened glass, and then getting some tin plates pressed in there in order to do all of this, right? To make loads and loads of these. And I'm also going to need a load of servos as well, which are just iron, nuggets, glass and redstone. Easy to make, right? Needing loads of those sort of things and just working my way through it all. In fact, I think I haven't made any of these with the lead in the middle yet. I made a couple with the item conduits just to test them out, just normal. I think I'm going to do it because it's going to be hardly moving most of the time. But I would like to see the items moving around while I'm like debugging the system, because I've been debugging the system and it's been very, very difficult to make it work through one small problem. One small problem with my cheap solution has turned out to make it very expensive, because now I've got to make this recipe up for a cyclic assembler. I'm only doing basic ones, so I need basic machine frames, which is all the stuff that we've been working on in here for ages. I made a few already, but in here we've been making these for everything, and there's none left in there. Normally I think the parts that go into here just take time crafting. It's just lots of crafting to make them. So I'll make them in batches, and I think I've got enough for today's episode, so I won't have to come back here once I've done these pipes. The thermal expansion, thermal dynamics stuff is pretty good. I like this stuff. I like this stuff a lot. 30, maybe some more. I like this stuff a lot. I have been using thermal expansion for a while, and then they split into thermal expansion and thermal dynamics, and I wasn't complaining because it still looks pretty cool. Yeah, I've been enjoying it, playing around with it, and I think I've found that it is possibly one of the best pipe mods, one of the best piping mods that money can buy, and I'm very pleased to be using it. I would like to use the Resident, the Ender IO pipes, because they are very good. They are very good indeed. I would like to use those, but there is no chance that I can afford those pipes. And probably because they are so much better, that is why they are so expensive. For a start, you need to have warp item ducts. Yeah, those warp item ducts. You need to make warp item ducts, which requires enderium, which isn't too hard, and item ducts, right? So not too hard. But then you use those to create three of those makes 3 of these, and you need the resonant servos as well. Just because Ender IO must have more components or more things that you can do with it. I mean, that one is not too difficult, I suppose, right? More options. But just going for the basics is just simple enough. Simpler than just collecting all of that stuff and making enderium all the time. I just wanted to make some of this, item conduits and servos, and that will do me. And put the rest back. I will be heading over to spawn, and I'll show you at the factory what's going on. Okay, so the problem has been, as lovely as this has been working with a nice vanilla crafting recipe such as a cookie, 2 bits of wheat and a cocoa beans, working wonders and extracting and making tons and tons of those. As soon as this recipe plan involves a piece of cookware from Pam's Harvest Craft. Where did I even put one? I've been testing out all sorts of stuff. Look, logistics crafting tables, auto workbenches. Oh yeah, I need those. Oh yeah, here we go. Then. Let's show you this, right? So as soon as this type of recipe, right, where it requires an item that it gives you back, like an item that doesn't get used up in the crafting, it makes something like that, right? The item didn't get used up in the crafting. Yes, I stress that is how it's supposed to work, right? Unfortunately, in the auto crafter that we've been using over there, the nice cheap thing, it uses up the juicer or the bakeware or the whatever it is that I'm using, and I need to do a lot of things now because there are 5 cookies that I want to make. I'm actually going to tune into cookies again. Yeah, tune cooking again. So the normal vanilla cookie is a very simple recipe, and we've been doing that. That's easy. That can be done with the cheap auto crafting. Peanuts, though, requires bakeware and all sorts of other things that required some kind of crafting as well. So sugar. Sugar is shapeless crafting, as it were. Sugar makes sugar. Sugar cane makes sugar. Easy. So I can use the old crafting for that, the old auto crafting for that. And I've got tofu and flour. Flour, I need a cyclic assembler making flour. What? Yeah, I know. I need flour making that way. But I was checking this out, right? I was checking this out. Some of them can use the old style. Some of them will have to use the new style if they require a Pam's Harvest Craft item in them, right? And I want to do all the recipes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 recipes, right? And I want them all set up there, and I want it to look cool as well, right? Well, cyclic assemblers. Obviously, I've got things that can move things around easy enough. These don't need any power, but it does move things around. I was checking to make sure that it doesn't begin to move something, right? The cyclic assembler takes a bit of power. You can put a recipe in it. I can put a crafting recipe into here, and it will remember the crafting recipe like that, make that little thing there like that, and then write the schematic. Boom. I've now got a peanut butter crafting recipe. So when I put those 2 things into one of these, it will then remember how to do it, and it will do it for me. That is simple enough. Yeah, that is simple enough. The problem I've got is that on top of that, right, I also had a problem that I was sending too much stuff in, right? I was sending too much of these in, so I've filled it all up, and I should really use cobblestone rather than cookies, but I had so many cookies, I used cookies. And these things get backed up, waiting for a location to go to. So when I had wheat and cocoa beans going into one, I can only have one transfer node extracting one type of item, because as soon as it gets backed up, it gets backed up. So as I use the cookies, the cocoa beans now, the second transfer node is having to do it. The first transfer node connected, yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't have worked. So the retrieval node off this wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have made it happen. So I've been testing these out, and these do work a lot better. You whitelist some stuff, and only when the inventory connected can receive it. So like at the minute, this has got, well, let's try something new. Let's try some of that. Let's make some more of this. I set all this up as well. Look, I'm all over the place, but I set all this up. Been running around for ages trying to get this set up. So there's slot for 1 sugar left in there. There's 1 space left in for sugar, right? And sugar is whitelisted. So it will try and send 1 sugar, yeah, to fill it up. Awesome, right? Let's say that the cobblestone then becomes free. It will send cobblestone instead, yeah? It will keep the sugar and send cobblestone instead. So it's not constantly keeping 1 item or a stack of items in its output. It will only pull from there to there when this requires it, which is much more advanced and is more costly, obviously, than what we've been using. The transfer nodes from extra utilities and these auto crafting benches from Project Red expansion. These are a lot more expensive, but not impossible. Not impossible. I've already put together enough things to make a few, and I want to try and set this whole system up so that I can make all the different cookies. Well, it's been a minute. it's been a long time. We've had the school holidays and everything since then, and I've not really been doing much recording on here. So we're like 10 minutes into the episode, and here I am catching up, showing you what I've done so far. Right. Well, I did have loads of setup over there. I tried to add to it and compact it and sort it all out, and it just kept going wrong. There always kept being something, and I'd like scratch my head, look at the screen, go bang, 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 and be a little like, I'll come back to it in a minute, then get an idea, then change it, then do something else, and then get stuck, and then change it and do something else. Well, now I'm on the kind of the, I don't know, the kind of, I've done so much towards it now that I'm not going back on it type deal, okay? So, we've got farms upstairs still. They're still working the same as they were before, but now farm produce comes down to here, okay? Almost like it's a goods inwards. We've got goods inwards. This is where the goods come in, the goods inwards, and they're going to go down the factory. I've got some pallets ready for more goods inwards. I've been storing all of my crafting and sorting stuff over here for goods inwards. Yeah, so I've got all my bits and pieces that I need around here instead. And all my little machines and all that, all on pallets in goods inward. But the farms produce from up there and bring it straight down into the goods inward over here, right? Where I'm voiding off everything so that the farms will constantly run, right? The farms will constantly be running unless I turn them off, and they will be producing all of these goods. At the minute, these are the only things that I'm currently producing there, which I'm stuck at this point still at the minute, right? Then, this is where we've changed things up a little bit. Every single one of these has got a transfer node. Every single one of these will fill up with an inventory that it needs to sort out. Yeah, fill up with an inventory, and try and put items into this ender chest. With a rationing pipe means that they'll only allowed to put one stack in, so everything else will back up in here, and then back up in here and void off. Right. So if it's a backlogged, this then has one of everything that we're producing, one stack of everything that we're producing in there because it's rationed. Easy. Right, and that's good. So all of this farm produce is coming into here, and that's the way it's going to be. Right, I need one stack of that grapes. So then, what we're doing is, there's also another little farm down here. I'll move this cocoa bean farm, so the cocoa bean farm's over here, but it's also now cyclic assembling with the mortar to make cocoa powder, and then the cocoa powder's going back in, and it goes up on a separate circuit, which gets another rationing pipe going into there to put cocoa powder in. Okay, and I've got a few other ideas. I've decided to bring that piping over here so that I'll have a few more things that might do the same thing into the same pipe and send it into the same rationing pipe into there. And then we've got this section. Now, it was where I had the farming stuff before, but now it is an automatic processing room. So we've got goods inwards, processing, and then we're going to have the bakery side over there. First of all, I had to separate them all up. I couldn't have them all next to each other. I had to separate them up and have them individual processes just so it would work nicely, and set things up with different types of pipes so that it would all fit smoothly and snugly in together and look nice. Okay, so we've got the ender chest. This is the first bit of technology, is the ender chest. So we've got all these raw materials from goods inwards available to us. We've also got all the raw material, the processed materials, yeah, from elsewhere in the factory coming in here. And again, a rationing pipe from all of those brings it in here so that all of this is happening as well, right? Now, this item duct takes things up and puts things into drawers up there, okay? So these drawers are the raw material from goods inwards, from the farms, and then we process each individual thing. So we've got, 32 stacks in there, a stack in there, and then we've got all of the stacks in here, making one item and ejecting that item straight down to here. this item is then being sucked out by that transfer node in there and only rationed so that it'll only go into here one stack at a time. Right? So there'll always be one stack in there. But there's always a backlog, which is good. And also, I've got this chain of electricity coming in from upstairs to make sure all these machines are powered. And I want to add another one right now, actually. So this one is going to go here, and this one is going to be the grapes, right? So we put the grapes in there, and we'll cap that off, and then it will start sending grapes as soon as I switch this on. I've got this turned off and on so that I can set things to work or not work, and turn things off when I'm not using them. So that's then going to fill up the peanuts, and then the grapes and all that kind of stuff. It'll fill up over there as it needs to, right? But for immediate purposes, I don't want that running in the background. Then I have the transfer node attached to the bottom, so it'll start pulling out from there into the transfer node and pushing it into this electric furnace. I think this is what we're doing next. Yeah, an electric furnace. That'll then put the grapes in the electric furnace, and I just need to put a power supply on. I thought I brought one over. I thought I brought one of those little nodes over, but I think I must have left them in. Actually, it's upstairs. I left some upstairs, I think. Did I? Please say that I left some upstairs. Everybody, say it. Yes, there we go. Okay, so I brought the wires, but I didn't bring the rest of it, right? So let's actually we take some wires. Yeah, I'll take all this, put all this on there, and then we go from. Well, we'll take this section off, won't we, and put it onto this one here. So I need to break that from there. That'll disconnect all of those bonds there, and then put that back on there, and then that to there to there, that to there to there, and then that from there to there. Okay, so that brings the chain, right? Breaks the chain. Now this will be making raisins, and the raisins I want to put back into here. So I'm going to put raisins in there for now because I want to connect this up properly. And then I'm going to have a transfer node that can only pull out raisins. I don't have that at the moment. Let's have a transfer node that only pulls out the raisins, because I'm not sure, to be honest, if it's going to try and pull out from above as well. Right? So we've got that in there. I don't really want it pulling out the grapes. I want it only pulling out raisins. So I'm just making sure of that. It's definitely required here because I don't want it pulling out sugarcane. I only want it pulling out sugar. So I've got a filter saying sugar only. Right? I'm doing the same here just for due diligence, really. Okay, so that goes in there, and it does only pull out raisins. That's okay. That will then cook all the grapes. The grapes will restock, and this will then connect to all of that lot. Okay. And now all those grapes will start getting sent back down and rationed into here to fill this up. Slowly but surely, that will make sure that we've constantly got these ingredients here. I've got to set up the soy milk and soy tofu and all that kind of stuff in this area as well. That's the next thing I want to do. And then this, because now I've got the ingredients all in one place, like one ender chest, I can have those ender chests over there for the production lines. And once I've got all the ingredients in here for something, then I can just make an assembler, assemble it, and stick it into an output. And then the output is one of these oak drawers. And these oak drawers will be all along there, ready for that to be goods out. So we're going to have production all the way down here, and then goods out at the far end over there. And hopefully it's all going to look cool and be a factory by the time I've finished. Oh my days. So would you expect it to have taken so long to make so little? Eh? Would you have expected that when you started today's episode? So long for so little. We're only making 5 cookies, right? We're literally only making 5 cookies. And I've ended up with this as the actual production of the cookies, right? Which is just a load of transfer nodes, just transferring items out of the different things. Of course, these ones only allow a certain output from the output slot, so I didn't have to worry about filtering, whereas this one will take anything out of the table it can, so I've got to filter it to cookies. We've covered that, yeah? Now we've got this sort of stuff going on. This was a peanut butter cookie, and it requires a bakeware. So I've been filling all this in, right, slowly but surely as we go. This one is raisin cookies, and that requires a bakeware. And then this one's the latest one, and that is a cream cookie, and that also requires a bakeware. But each one of these, now I've got to gather the ingredients, such as peanut butter, flour, firm tofu, and sugar, and put them into the machine, and then turn the machine on. So we've got a few other things going now. We've got the soybean all being processed. Let's go and have a quick look over here, and then I'll organise these ones a bit better. So we've got the full setup here going on. We've got the soybean coming into there, and it's getting putting from the ender chest. The ender chest is only putting soybeans in there as it needs it from the one stack that we keep in there. It's filling that up, so we've got then 32 stacks in there. Then that's coming down here, so every time this loses one, it will do that. That pipe goes down underneath here. Yeah, it goes underneath here and into the next one, which is where the soft silken tofu goes. And then the silken tofu gets pulled out into the next one, which gets turned into firm tofu and soy milk. Firm tofu and soy milk, depending on which way it can go. And then on the back of that, we've got export transfer nodes fully laden with each of those items on a restricted rationing pipe back into here to give me a stack of each in there. We've got water going on over here. Infinite water source going in to fill these up, and this is basically turning a water bucket into Pam's Harvest fresh water, and then putting the fresh water into there to fill that up. This is taking the pot and the water and boiling it up to make salt, and putting the salt up there, and then again rationing out into this to get water and salt. We're then taking from this angle, we're taking water, flour and salt in a mixing bowl to make dough, and the dough's going in there, and then the dough's going back there to ration that out. So we've got dough in there. Everything's being nicely rationed to make all the cookies so far, and I've defined the areas a little bit better. So we've got raw materials, processing, and then packing or baking or whatever you want to call it. And I'm thinking of making this some kind of oven. I think I might not. I don't know. I might not. I don't really know. I'm not sure if I want to be fair. Not sure if I want to. That's the big issue now. Because there's so much going on in this factory already that I'm not 100% sure that I want to do it all in a style of great big bakery ovens. I mean, there's so many pipes and odd bits and pieces and machines in here. It's just a factory. It's just a factory at the end of the day. Right, peanut butter. Let's do this. So peanut butter, tofu, flour and sugar. So peanut butter, tofu, flour and sugar. Boom. That's just going to make a ton of them and put them in here. Right? I'm going to have to do that a few times so that I can keep these stacks full up. I need to fill this up first. So I'm going to do that a few times. The cookies here, flour, sugar, firm tofu and raisins. So raisins being the main thing there. The flour, the sugar, firm tofu and all that in here. This should now have replenished. Yep. Good. Put those in. Flour. Tofu. Oh, I didn't take the bigger tofu, did I? And firm tofu. There. And all of the different parts of the factory should replenish this. But to start with, when you initially get that going, right, it makes a ton of them. And I've got to fill these barrels up first before I can rely on these 4 stacks being full, which means that I can turn this on and expect it to basically distribute all of these things into all of those places. And at the moment, it goes so fast that it leaves the empty slots and it'll just put anything in there. And I don't want just anything going in there, so I'm going to have to be very careful doing this. The next one is this cream cookie, and that's going to be dough, honey, dough, sugar, silken tofu, and cocoa powder. Dough, silken tofu, and cocoa powder. Also need some sugar. So that should all work as well, and start making these ones for me. Do you good? Yes, you do. Awesome. And that should then have gone into here. Oh yeah, cream cookies. Now we've got a fourth flavour of cookie. We have 4 types of cookie, and eventually this will all get booted up so that it'll all be able to take a stack from there and it'll replace the stacks as it goes. Excellent. And apart from that, yeah, we should be okay. Right, so the final cookie is the chaos cookie. Now I'm not sure how to do the chaos cookie because it needs purple dye. I'm going to have to figure a way of getting purple dye. And the chocolate bar is easy enough. Cocoa powder, the soy milk, and butter. Butter's easy enough. It's silken tofu and salt in a pan. Yes, I've got all that sorted. I'm thinking of putting the butter around the back here, but then butter is an ingredient, so it should really go over here somewhere. It's just all the pipes and all the cables and all the things. I need to be able to get to the ender tanks or the ender chests in the sort of like 3 off 1 chest at least, really. Processing off 1 chest, because the chests are quite expensive. So I've got to do a little bit of that. But that is all for today's episode. I have crafted and created and made myself a ton of stuff, and now I've got to get ready for Halloween. Yes, it is the 31st of October. It is Halloween. It is time to think about trick-or-treating. I do plan on trick-or-treating around my Patreon server, going to each of the dimensions and having a look at all the bases and doing some trick-or-treating. I will let you see all of that either in a live stream on Halloween night or on video during the course of the next week. Alright then, thank you very, very much for watching. I will see you later for some more.